When does intimidation become a felony? Intimidation is when you communicate a threat to a person with the intent to place them in fear of that threat would be carried out. Usually that alone is a misdemeanor. So if I tell someone I'm going to punch them in the face, I'm communicating a threat to them. Now, it doesn't matter if they believe I will punch them or not. All that matters is that I intended to put that fear of that threat into their mind like I was going to carry it out. Intimidation can become a felony in a number of ways. If you threaten to actually commit a felony to that person, so if you say, I'm going to shoot you, well, shooting someone can be a felony, and that could lead to intimidation as a level 6 felony. If you threaten someone who is a witness in a criminal case saying, don't testify in court or I'm going to beat you up, that can be considered a level 6 felony. And if you have a deadly weapon on you, intimidation can be charged as a level 5 felony. So here are some examples of a deadly weapon. A gun, a bat, a knife, those could be considered deadly weapons. But sometimes there are other things that could be considered a deadly weapon, like a cane. You know, if you hit somebody with a cane super hard, that could be considered a deadly weapon in this example. Another thing that's often charged as a deadly weapon also is a vehicle. If you're threatening to drive somebody over in a vehicle and you're communicating a threat saying, I'm going to run you over. Now we're talking about intimidation that could be charged as a level 5 felony based on that deadly weapon, even if it's something that we wouldn't consider a deadly weapon. So if I had a pocket knife on me and I was concealing that pocket knife and made that same threat to somebody, well, it might not be intimidation as a level 5 felony because they didn't see the pocket knife. But if I take that pocket knife out, then we're talking about a level 5 felony. This gets complicated if you have a firearm. So say if I had a firearm tucked underneath my hip and I'm not brandishing it, I'm not showing it to somebody and the other person didn't even know I had a firearm, well, that might not be intimidation as a level 5 felony. But say I pull up my shirt, I'm making threats to somebody and they see that there's a firearm under my hip, well, at that point, that could be considered like I'm drawing the weapon even though I don't pull it out. So it gets a little complicated there. Now, obviously, if I take that gun out, I point it at somebody, I communicate threats to that person, well, now we're talking about intimidation as a level 5 felony, and we're talking about pointing a firearm as a level 6 felony. If you or someone you know has been charged with intimidation, call us at the Marc Lopez Law Firm at 317-632-3642. And remember, always plead the fifth.